Let's go. Right, I've forgotten which episode we're on now, so I'm just going to say
Four,
first,
five,
first,
something like
first episode of May, and we've got the 10-day challenge started at the moment. The first one me and Carly have run together.
that. Hmm.
Emotional eating, why carbs ain't the enemy, and that's pretty much what we're going to be covering today. Um, the fact that it gets demonized by, well, to be fair, it either gets demonized or it gets used as like a selling technique by certain companies as have as much as
Yeah,
you like and still be able to get in the shape you wanna. There's no real middle ground. Do you know what I mean?
yeah,
There's
yeah.
no. It's either you're a crap mum for having caffeine and carbs, or have as many as you want and still get in the shape that you like. So I
Mm.
think there's a real balance that needs to be spoken about and kind of quantified as well, because it's all well and good us saying as fit pros or as personal trainers, oh yeah, include carbs in your diet. But how people actually do that, that's what they're obviously going to want some advice on.
Yeah.
So, what have you heard? And let's actually relate it back to like mum shaming before. What have you heard other mums saying about carbs and stuff like this?
Um, there is, as you said, like just a second ago, there is this thing about like, oh, I'm having no carbs and I'll lose weight really quickly. I think that's the thing. Again, quick fix is what everyone tries to get at. But
Yep.
yeah, that's what it is really. Is a quick like people trying to get quick fixes out of things and like cutting carbs. Like, but the thing is, like, you wouldn't cut vegetables from your overall, you know what I mean, like healthy eating, or people that eat meat wouldn't cut meat. I wouldn't cut tofu and my proteins
Yeah.
out. So why are you cutting carbs out? What's
Well, that's a stupid thing, isn't it? Because
don't know.
carbs, okay, you've got fruit, carrots, broccoli, celery, lettuce, have all got carbs in them.
Yeah, yeah.
So, you know, any tropical fruit, especially, very high in sugar. But these people who are cutting out carbs, they'll literally go, right, no more rice, cereal, pasta, and bread, and think they're doing it.
Yeah.
They'll be the ones that will then probably go, oh, yeah, but these are like lower in sugar and have 4 times as much. So it doesn't
Mm.
really solve the problem. Um, and I think rightly so, yeah, a lot of our audience, let's call it, is probably going to have experienced the whole quick fix of wanting to just lose a few pounds before a holiday, or getting back into their pre-pregnancy clothes, or getting back
Hmm.
into, a shape where they feel comfortable. And without the aforementioned how to do it, they are going to be pretty screwed when it comes to actually applying it to their own lives. Because I was having an interesting chat with Chloe the other day, client Chloe, not my girlfriend, saying how she used to be able to drop like a dress size in 4 weeks. But as soon as real life crept back in, she'd have to like ignore her friends, not go out for drinks after work, not go out with her boyfriend on the weekend, not go around
Yeah.
her mum's for a Sunday roast, say no to dessert, kind of even send out WhatsApp messages beforehand, going to meetings saying, look, if there's something in there, can you remove these foods? Well, that
Hmm.
ain't normal. How long's that really going to last? So you you're pretty much setting yourself up for failure before you even start,
Yeah, it's
because
not a sustainable lifestyle, is it? You're not gonna,
nah. And again, you know, this, oh yeah, I've got to fit it into my lifestyle, gets a bit of a bad rap because people seem to think it's like a woo woo thing. But it just shows that I mean, I can't put it any other way really. The way you're living right now isn't doing it for you.
Mm.
So that's not like a big thing we have to change. You're going to be made up of a billion and one habits and, auto responses and emotions and attachments to foods and sentiments that you don't even know.
Mm.
But what we can control, and is mathematically possible, is to have a lot of carbs, but we still need to quantify that. And I think that's the bit that most people miss. So when people go, right, I'm just not going to have any carbs, it takes them away from the boring tracking part and the observing part and the actually looking at what they've done over the past few days. Because one of the most interesting things and I know you've found, is just writing down what you're eating.
Mm.
and actually entering your calories on MyFitnessPal.
So interesting. It's yeah. I like it. It's helped, you know, look at things differently. And I think is it Fitness Chef, the guy's name?
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, he's wicked, absolutely wicked. And he put a post up a few days ago. I think, well, I might have shared it with someone, whatever. He done like you go into Pizza Express, you get a pasta, or you got a pizza. Actually, the pizza was like, I don't know, something like 10 calories less than the pasta. And it's like, you think that you're picking this healthier choice or whatever, but actually, in calorie wise, it could be quite similar. But obviously, I'm not saying eat pizzas for the rest of your life. It's just like it's showing you an overall thing.
I don't think anyone's thinking that, Carl.
Well, I mean,
See, that's the thing, isn't it? You feel
I
like,
love pizza.
no, but what I mean is, you feel like you have to say things like that, because you're saying, I'm not saying do this all the time. It's like, if we look at it as a whole, though, a pizza, if you have it with, let's say, some buffalo mozzarella, two types of meat on it, and some decent veg, that's going to have a shitload more protein and healthy fats, and it's going to have some veg on it. Whereas the pasta might have tomato sauce and one type of protein. I don't know. So again,
or not even that, just some basil in it or something.
yeah. So the meal accumulatively is going to be a whole lot more well-rounded and healthy than the thing in the first place. And I think this is what a lot of people, again, I don't want to call it laziness, but like just get stuck on for a bit, is all right, well, calories wise, this is healthier than this. And I've had a lot of arguments with other personal trainers online, offline, seminars before, how you can eat McDonald's every day if you want to lose weight, because calorie for calorie, mathematically, 2 plus 2 is 4, 2 plus 1 is 3. You take that one out, regardless where it's coming from, you're going to lose fat, you're going to lose energy, because again, systematically, you take this much to live, you go to this much, you're going to start losing. But it doesn't take into account the quality of the food.
Yeah, definitely. But it was on the BBC. I'm gonna try and find it, but there was this guy who tried to lose weight by eating, like, I think it was just takeaways or like just food like that, and he had he counted calories, and he lost weight through doing that. It was really interesting. It's on the BBC. It was a few years ago now, but it was really shocking, like, to look at and go, oh my god, like he calorie counted, but he ate like McDonald's and KFC, whatever he wanted to eat, and he still lost. Yeah, it was really interesting.
How many mums shows are stuff like, when you get the families that are like spending X amount on brand name shops and brand name clothes and this and this, and they get these people that come in and show them that, oh, look at the quality of like Tesco brand or F&F or like Asda and George and all this sort of stuff. This is how much you could be saving. Again, what are they using? Fucking numbers. You look at like Homes Under the Hammer, Homes in the Sun, or whatever you're looking at. Again, my mum watching those till I want to shoot myself in the face. But they're all about, if you go to someone and go, right, well, how much is this property for? It's 400,000. Oh, our budget's only 380. Oh, okay. Maybe they'll have a bit. What's in it again? Friggin' numbers.
Numbers, yeah.
You can't have this stuff, anything in success, without having numbers involved, tracking something and measuring. It could be a portion plate. It could be measuring your calories out. But this is another thing as well. I hear, not as much anymore, to be fair, because people are a bit wiser now, but, oh, I don't want to be counting every calorie I've got. It seems a bit obsessive. Well, that'll be the same person that's obsessing over everything they're putting in the gob and feeling guilty and going, oh, I'm such a fat bitch. Why do I look at a cake and everything, and then it puts half a stone on?
Yeah.
Who's the one really being obsessive?
Yeah, exactly. I'm going to ask you a question now.
Mm-hmm.
So, what do you think? I'm going to bring up the subject of bread.
Okay.
Because everyone says black bread. That's the one thing that they like to cut out, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Is bread, like bread and pasta, as you said, on white like rice or whatever. But I find that bread, people always go, oh, can't eat bread, it bloats me out, or blah 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 blah. But then when they go back to eating bread in their like overall kind of healthy, what you should be eating every day, they go, oh my god, I'm so bloated now, and blah blah blah. Do you think that's because they've like completely cut it out and then their body's like, I don't know. What do you think? I want to know.
Basically, they're right and they're wrong.
Uh-huh.
So bread is a starchy carb. It's also a very simple carb, which basically means it doesn't take long to break down in your system. Right, so go through your stomach, comes out your pooper pretty quick. But in the meantime, every 1 gram of carbs that you take in holds on to 3 grams of every 1 molecule of carbs you take in holds on to 3 molecules of water. So yes, you are being water retentive, hence bloated, feeling like you've got a little baby belly or a carb belly or whatever people like to call it.
Mm-hmm.
Secondly, let's look at the actual numbers again. A slice of bread, typically, or a roll, is between 100 to 140 calories. Now, a normal functioning mother or female, let me re-clarify. A normal functioning female would be between 14 to 1800 calories, roughly there or thereabouts, if they're in their fat loss stage, right?
Mm-hmm.
If, however, they're breastfeeding, they need to have an additional 500. So let's go worst case scenario, they're going to need 2,300 calories.
Yeah.
Rolling it back to the bread, you have 2 slices of bread, call them 140, that's 280 calories. That's around 10% of your total daily energy intake. So 2 problems come up here in my head. A, 10% of anything, it's fuck all. Unless you're going on Dragon's Den and they're offering you like $500,000 to buy out 10% of your business, or those astronomical numbers. But equally, what do people really romanticize and like to think about and like to really include as part of their wellness and fitness and weight loss regime that takes about an hour each day or half hour if you push for time? What do they think about and obsess over? How many watts they've done?
Oh, steps.
Or workouts.
Or workouts, yeah.
Because again, okay, best case scenario, you work out for an hour and a half. That's still, again, that's quite a lot of time, is getting to the gym, changing your clothes, having your shower, chatting to the fit personal trainer, whatever it might be. But let's say it's even 2 hours, right? Or an hour and a half or an hour. But that's then 1/24 or 1/12 of your day.
Yeah.
Again, diddly bit. So what I'm trying to say here is we're looking at the wrong things.
Mm.
A slice of bread ain't gonna make or break your diet. But on the flip side, like we mentioned before, because I feel like we've clarified that enough now, and I'm going to sum it up with some action points. Get knowing some frigging numbers.
Mm-hmm.
Work out what your rough guide calories should be each day. Make, let's say, 30% of that carbs, 40% if you want to, because again, energy's got to come from somewhere. Carbs aren't bad. Your body does need energy on a daily basis. Yeah. Otherwise, it's like trying to run your car on empty. 30 to 40% on carbs, and track it for a week. After that, send me or Carly a message and we'll help you a bit more. But anyone who's listening to this and who hasn't done that, frankly, you're going to be wasting our time and your time asking for any other magic bullets until you can do that shit. I know a really, really, really successful trainer over in Australia who charges $1,500 a month, right, for 2 sessions a week. And the first 30 days or 45 days, all he gets people to do is have 2 meals a day, snack on fruit between those, and to run 2 miles a day for 5 days a week. He doesn't care if they walk, they jog, they run. But if they can't do that and build that habit in, because that takes literally 20 to 30 minutes, and he's just getting them snacking on fruit. 2 little habits, but if they can't do that, what else is he going to get them to do? But the results they'd see from doing that alone, remember, that's without tracking, that's just cutting out. That is kind of doing like 0 carbs or a, whitewash kind of system. Yeah. What more can we do if someone can't even commit to that? Do you know what I mean? Harsh as that sounds, it's true.
Yeah, very true. And I think if you, as they say, if you want something bad enough, you will, do it. But as we're trying to promote, Glenn, as well, doing it in a healthy way, because there's a lot of thing with this Kim Kardashian thing going on at the moment where she's lost loads of weight, and it's bad though. Like, we don't need these people in our lives. Like, spreading this on social media is so wrong, and it's so corrupt, and it's so bad for men and women, because this is what creates eating disorders, like overeating or undereating. It's just really not good for us.
There was a post, it was, I've got quite a lot of friends on Facebook now, right? So there was a post by someone the other day saying, if Kim K can lose 16 pounds in 2 weeks, so can I. Or let's see what I can do. And it had about 40 comments on it or something. And it was saying, oh, you're already a bean pal and this, right? And they said, oh, yeah, why don't you get a sweatsuit as well? And she went, oh, yeah, already got one of those on Amazon. And oh, why don't you try, it was like isogenics? And yeah, oh, yeah, already got my wellness shakes on the way. And I just thought, it's going to be like me pissing in front of an airplane turbine. Honestly, if I commented or I said anything, it'd just be like, ew.
Yeah.
Because there's literally no talking to people like that. So
No.
The sad reality is, we can talk about the morality of it. We can talk about the rights, the wrongs, the this, the that's. There's always going to be Lauren Goodges. There's always going to be Kim Kardashians. There's always going to be, V Shred, that dickhead. There's always going to be people who try and lead people astray from calories and this because it gives them something to sell.
Yeah.
I had one of my old friends from my old gym used to train one of the Towie lot. Do you know what I mean? And he lost a lot of weight. It wasn't hard, just to clarify. But the last, I think, half a stone, he actually switched to another trainer. Bearing in mind, this guy had helped him lose about 2.5 stone, right? The last half a stone he lost with this other guy on this thing called it was like Tone Up Wonderful. I won't give its real name out because I don't want to promote it, but it was like, but he took the original photo that my friend helped him with by doing gym work, good solid like training with him, getting him to do a spin class, coming along to his classes. He'd take him out to eat, he'd take him shopping, actually go shopping with the guy in the local Morrison's and all this. He took the photo from before that, before he'd ever worked with him, gave it to this other guy and said, even though he'd lost the last half the stone, because he then started promoting for that company and obviously then had something to sell, saying, here's my code, this is what results can really come from if you use this.
It's all about that, isn't it, with them? And that's what's really such a shame. And yeah, it's just so wrong. Don't follow them, people. Don't listen to them. Fucking idiots.
And that's the thing, it's it gives them something to sell. So let's flip it around and go into eat as many carbs as you want, eat as much pasta and bread and potatoes as you want and still lose weight. What do we think of that?
So that was really funny because the other night I met up with a good friend of mine, and she used to do Slimming World.
Oh, we're talking about Slimming World? Okay, didn't realise, sorry.
Sorry?
I didn't realise we were talking about Slimming World. I thought we were just going to talk.
I'm going to say it. And she said to me that they can eat as much pasta, potatoes as they want. I said, what do you mean as you want? She said, you can eat as much as you want. So I said, so you can eat 4 bowls of mashed potatoes in a day? Oh,
do you remember Bodger and Badger?
Mashed potato, yeah.
Honestly, it baffles my mind because they're the foods that make you bloated the most. And that's probably why they've done it, to be fair. But then you'll get like pasta, potatoes, bread, like we were mentioning earlier, bread gets a bit of a demon name as like sin-free, let's call it, right? Yeah. But then you'll have a banana, which has got very good nutrients, very good levels of vitamin A and vitamin D in it, and vitamin K, being classed as, I think it's like 4 sins for a banana if you don't deep throw it and you put it into a smoothie. So that's on the one hand. On the flip side, you've also then got stuff like, I think it's the Slimming World Healthy brand 0 sins sausages, and then you've got Lincolnshire pork sausages from like Sainsbury's, and honestly it's like 1 gram difference on the protein and the carbs and the fats. Guess which one's got a sin?
Yeah, we don't need to say any more, do we? Yeah.
What we were saying. What we were saying a second ago about like people trying to sell their own certain products as healthy, and be good to yourself.
That's what all it
Um,
is. It's the moolah.
yeah, and
It's a
again,
shame.
it's a sad thing because you have to think about, obviously the company's got targets to hit, they've got, you know,
Mm.
numbers to get in and drive it up and again. But and I've always got in a bit of jip for this, but I've always compared it to like Jesus and the Roman Catholics. Like the actual message from the top down was, you know, love thy neighbor, do this, do that, and all have some good intentions. And it kind of got a bit watered down and muddied the water a little bit and watered down a bit more and maybe turned into something to use as like a, and I'm not, again, you know, I'm not going to go into what like Roman Catholicism has kind of turned into now, but let's say I wouldn't have wanted to go to an all boys school in a Roman Catholic place, would you? um and that all comes to, you know, loving from Jesus. And I
Yeah.
think it's the same thing with this, where, you know, the actual message they've got of building it into your lifestyle, it's not a diet, it's a lifestyle,
Yeah.
is
Preying on the
very,
vulnerable. That's what it
yeah.
is.
But then the disciples, uh I mean, it's like a fucking cult, honestly. It's ridiculous.
You really, really do hate it. I mean, I
I,
don't like it, but you hate it.
it's just because I've seen what it can do for people on their frustration. Like they'll be there 2 years, they'll go 14, 16, 18,
Mm.
12, 14, 12, 16, 12, 18, 12, slimmer of the year, back up to a 16. Now you've got your own group. And
Yeah.
then you ask them what's a protein.
There's no nutrition advice whatsoever. Again,
No.
this was coming from an insider. No nutrition. Like
Yep.
they're not teaching you anything about what you're eating. They're just. I mean, it's good to be goal orientated, but you need to learn behind it as well. You
Yep.
know, like when we teach. Say I'm teaching downward dog. I'm not just going to go getting downward dog. I'm going to tell
Yeah.
you how to do it, and I'm going to tell you the benefits of it and why we're doing it. Like
Yep.
they just say to you, eat loads of potatoes and
No, that's a
pasta, but
sin.
these are a
That's
sin.
not a sin.
Yeah,
You've done well this week. You've lost a pound.
yeah.
You're sin free.
But what I'd want to know is why is that a sin? Why are you classing this as a bad food?
But like you said about the vulnerable people, right?
Mm,
I would concur with you. I would actually say that in the nicest way possible, these are people that have probably tried everything under the sun
yep.
and they don't want to learn why, which again is understandable because they're going to get pissed off with this diet, that diet, that diet, this diet.
Yeah.
But it's hard to look inside and actually say, look, well, every one of these things I've tried, wasted money on Herbalife, Isogenics, Juice Plus, V Shred, Keto, fucking whatever it is. If you turn around and said to them, well, you've wasted the last 2 years and you've spent 5 grand on bollocks,
Mm,
that's a hard pill to swallow.
yeah.
So when someone comes along and goes, oh yeah, look, I'll come over here, eat as much pasta as you want. It's like the kid trying to get you to try your drugs for the first time at school. You know, you might have been like trying to chat up the girl that's over there as well, so that's what you go over there for, or your mates think it's cool. So it's never done by a person that's on the right track. You talk to
Mm,
any healthy person, any active person, any gymnast, any Olympic athlete, any cyclist, any high level performer, anyone that's just like, you know, the mums on the school run that you're just like jealous because they're in shape all the time. They're not going to fucking Slimming World. They're
yeah.
not eating as much as they want. They'll have basic levels of control and structure.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, it is the only way to do it. Obviously, we have to apply it to your life and your job, schedule, responsibilities, kids, parents, whatever. But that takes a bit of digging, it takes a bit of work, and no one really wants to hit that.
Yeah, it's really tough. Like as you said, like the vulnerable thing. It's really sad because you know people that have got eating disorders or whatever it is, they
Mm-hmm.
may look to these companies to try and get a quick fix of something, or you know they think that they're doing the right thing, but actually it's probably more damaging than good at that
Yep.
time. Like all these herbal life, I hate. Like I find like there was a really funny TikTok, and it was like, what are all the popular kids doing now at school? oh, they're selling Herbalife. Like,
Mhm.
it's so true. Like, why are you selling these quick fixes? Stop it now.
It's a mate from college,
Makes
isn't
me
it, that you've not
angry.
spoke to in a while. Oh, Carla, we haven't, let's catch up soon. Oh, by the way,
I'm selling.
I saw you working from home now. Fancy earning a bit more and helping out your clients?
Mm.
No, no, I don't. You utter
So
leech.
it's so wrong, and again, what does it come down to? It comes down to money all the time, and it's just really, really sad to prey on people that are, overweight or underweight, whatever, and not happy with their bodies, or even their looks or anything. And
Yep.
people prey on them, give them wrong information, try and give them quick fixes for an astounding amount of money, and then it doesn't work, or it can work, and they put it back on, and it just it knocks them down again, and they're back to square one. And
Or they'll put it
I
on
just,
them as well.
you know,
Ah, maybe you just haven't used the system enough. You haven't been doing it long enough.
yeah,
Oh, yeah,
yeah,
but you
yeah,
didn't exactly have the amount of sins that we prescribed you, or you
yeah,
didn't have you didn't have the shake at 11:30. You had it at 25:2 instead. Yeah, it's all your fault. You need to be doing it for another 2 weeks. But
exactly,
here's next month's dose. Just take that a little bit more, and I promise it will happen this time. I'll actually
yeah.
hit you up with the Emerald subscribers. We'll get you onto their secret webinar to hit all the fat loss secrets for those and the metabolism raising hacks.
So
And the sad
true.
part is, I was obviously just making that up then. I've seen scripts like that
Yeah,
for Herbalife and Isogenics and Juice Plus. Anyway, I'm
yeah.
going to call it there on this one because I think, yeah, we need to give some people some actual things they can do. Look, TDEE calculator is where I get all my info for people's calories. It
Is that an
uses
app?
something. Nope, just a website. TD
Oh,
Tango Delta Echo Echo TDEE calculator.net, and it
okay.
uses the Mifflin St. Jean equation, which is one of them. You've got the Harris Benedict equation as well on there, which is entirely up to you which one you use. Don't need to bother which one. You can Google if you want to be a bit of a nerd about it. Get some info on your calories.
Hmm.
Set them at 30% for your carbs. Again, just try tracking between now and the weekend.
Mm,
Okay, try doing 4 days. Set some alarms on your phone. We usually tie it to either a pee, a coffee, or sitting down and watching your favourite show in the evenings, because that's three things I can guarantee everyone's going to do today. Have a
yeah,
coffee, have a pee, watch some Netflix.
yeah.
Put an alarm around that, and you'll start to develop this habit
Mm.
better.
And even as
Thanks
you
for
said,
today.
you said about the MyFitnessPal as well. I find that really nice and quick because it's got the scanner on
Yeah,
it, the barcode. That's
yeah.
really handy.
It's also
Just
got
save, even
NutriCheck.
if you have something to eat, save the wrapper, and then you can just
Mhm.
beep, 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 beep at the end of the day. That's what I tend to do now. Is you
Yeah,
know,
you've got one called NutriCheck as well, and I know there are other ones which are, I'm assuming, equally as good. It's just whatever one you find. But obviously, sorry, for all my
mm,
clients, and obviously with Kylie and her clients, we do use MyFitnessPal just because it ties into the PT software that we use. But again,
yeah.
look, find what works for you. You can save recipes on there. It's got to be easy, otherwise you ain't going to do it. So, Kylie, thanks for today. And
Thank you.
yeah, I
And
think
carbs aren't
next
the
one,
enemy.
yeah, basically, next one we're going to be going into is going to be what to do if you're hitting a plateau and how to kind of get around that. So
Cool.
make sure you're listening out for that as well.
Thanks.